How do your hormones work? Slow version. Over the course of our lifetimes, our bodies undergo a series of extraordinary metamorphoses. We grow, experience puberty, and many of us reproduce. Behind the scenes, the endocrine system works constantly to orchestrate these changes. Alongside growth and sexual maturity, this system regulates everything from your sleep to the rhythm of your beating heart, exerting an influence over each and every one of your cells. The endocrine system relies on interaction between three features to do this job: glands, hormones, and trillions of cell receptors. Firstly, there are several hormone-producing glands, 3 in your brain and 7 in your rest of your body. Each is surrounded by a network of blood vessels, for which they extract ingredients to manufacture dozens of hormones. Those hormones are then pumped out in a tiny amount, usually into a bloodstream. From there, each hormone needs to locate a set of target cells in order to bring about specific change. To find a target is helped along by receptors, which are special proteins inside or on the cell's surface. Those receptors recognize specific hormones as they waft by and bind to them. When this happens, the hormone receptor combination triggers a range of effects that either increase or decrease specific process inside the cell to change the way the cell behaves. By exposing millions of cells at a time to hormones carefully regulated quantities, the endocrine system drives large-scale changes across the body. Take, for instance, the thyroid and the two hormones it produces, thyroidonos and thyromin and thyroxine. These hormones travel to most of body's cells, where they influence how quickly those cells are use energy and how rapidly they work. In turn, they regulate everything from breathing rate to heartbeat, body temperature, and digestion. Hormones also have some of their most visible and familiar effects during puberty. In men, puberty begins when the testes start secreting testosterone. That triggers the gradual development of sexual organs, makes facial hair erupt, and causes the voice to deepen and height to increase. In women, estrogen secreted from the ovaries signals the start of adulthood. It helps the body develop, extends hip width, and thicken the womb's lining, preparing the body for menstruation or pregnancy. An enduring misconception around the endocrine system is that there are exclusively male and female hormones. In fact, men and women have estrogen and testosterone, just in different amounts. Both hormones play a role in pregnancy as well, alongside more than 10 other hormones that ensure the growth of fetus, enable birth, and help the mother feed her child. Such periods of hormonal change are also associated with fluctuation in mood. That because the hormones can influence the production of certain chemicals in the brain, like serotonin. When chemical levels shift, they may cause the changes in mood as well. But that's not to say the hormones have unlimited power over us. They frequently leave as the main driver of our behavior, making us slave to their effects, especially during puberty. But research shows that our behavior is collectively shaped by a variety of influences, including the brain and its neurotransmitters, our hormones, and various social factors. The primary function of the endocrine system is to regulate our bodily processes, not control us. Sometimes disease, stress, and even diet can disrupt the regulatory function, however, altering the quantity of hormones that glands secrete or change the way the cell respond. Diabetes is one of the most common hormone disorders, occurring when the pancreas secretes too little insulin, a hormone that manages blood sugar levels, and hypo and hyperthyroidism occur when the thyroid glands make too little or too much thyroid hormone. When there are too little thyroid hormone, that results in slowed heart rate, fatigue, and depression. And when there are too much thyroid hormone, weight loss, sleeplessness, and irritability. But most of the time, the endocrine system manages to keep our body in a state of balance, and through its constant regulation, it drives the changes that ultimately help us become who we are. One more with normal speed. Over the course of our lifetimes, our bodies undergo a series of extraordinary metamorphoses. We grow, experience puberty, and many of us reproduce. Behind the scenes, the endocrine system works constantly to orchestrate these changes. Alongside growth and sexual maturity, this system regulates everything from your sleep to the rhythm of your beating heart, exerting influence over each and every one of your cells. The endocrine system relies on interaction between three features to do its job: glands, hormones, and trillions of cell receptors. Firstly, there are several hormone-producing glands, 3 in your brain and 7 in the rest of your body. Each is surrounded by the network of blood vessels, which extract ingredients to manufacturing dozens of hormones. Those hormones are then pumped out in our tiny amounts, usually into a bloodstream. From there, each hormone needs to locate a set of target cells in order to bring about specific change. To find its target is helped along by receptors, which are special proteins inside on or inside the surface. Those receptors recognize specific hormones as they waft by and bind to them. When this happens, that hormone receptor combination triggers a range of effects that either increase or decrease specific process inside the cell to change the way the cell behaves. By exposing millions of cells at a time to hormone its carefully regulated quantities, the endocrine system drives large-scale changes across the body. Take, for instance, the thyroid, the two hormones it produces, thyroid and thyroxine. These hormones travel to most of body's cells, where they influence how quickly those cells use energy and how rapidly they work. In turn, they regulate everything from breathing rate, heartbeat, body temperature, and digestion. Hormones also have some of the most visible and familiar effects. During puberty, in men, puberty begins when the testes start secreting testosterone that triggers the gradual development of sexual organs, and cause the voice to deepen and height to increase. In women, estrogen secreted from the ovaries signals the start of adult. It helps the body develop, makes the hips wide, and thicken the woman's wedding, prepare the body for menstruation and pregnancy. An enduring message around the endocrine system is that are exclusive male and female hormones. In fact, men and women have estrogen and testosterone just in different amounts. Both hormones play a role in pregnancy as well, alongside more than 10 other hormones that ensure the growth of a fetus, enable birth, and help the mother feed her child. Such periodic hormone changes are also associated with fluctuation in mood. That's because hormones can influence the production of a certain chemical in the brain, like serotonin. When chemical levels shift, they may cause a change in mood as well. But that's not to say the hormones have unlimited power over us. They frequently leave us as main driver of our behavior, making us slave to our effects, especially during puberty. But research shows that our behavior is collectively shaped by a variety of influences, including the brain and its neurotransmitter, our hormones, and various social factors. The primary function of the endocrine system is to regulate our body processes, not control us. Sometimes disease, stress, and even diet can disrupt one regulatory function, however, altering the quantity of hormones that secrete or change the way that cells respond. Diabetes is one of the most common hormone disorders, occurring when the pancreas secretes too little insulin, a hormone that manages blood sugar levels, and hypo and hypothyroidism occurs when the thyroid glands secrete too little or too much thyroid hormone. When there are too little thyroid hormone, there also slow heart rate, fatigue, and depression. When there is too much thyroid hormone, weight loss, sleepiness, and irritability. But most of the time, the endocrine system manages to keep our body in state of balance. And through its constant regulation, it drives the changes that ultimately help us become who we are.